If you consistently take on more responsibilities than you should, if you spend more time on the first 1% and the last 1% of a project than the entire rest of the project combined, and if you always feel like you're short on time, this video is for you. In this video, we are exploring time in the context of perfectionism and obsessive compulsive personality disorder. Getting a proper and realistic grasp on time is important when it comes to overcoming our perfectionist tendencies and living a more joyful life. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. As perfectionists, time is often the enemy. Time is a resource that is absolutely needed when it comes to creating perfection. So it can be really frustrating when that resource is limited or not available. However, if we start to strategically think about time or limit time that we allot to certain things, we can hopefully reduce some of those perfectionistic tendencies and show ourselves that everything will be fine when things turn out imperfectly. So there are a laundry list of ways that time affects perfectionism and vice versa. It gets really wonky, so let me go through those quickly. Doing the thing perfectly and continuing to work on the thing even once you've passed the 99.9% done mark is going to take way more time than if you did the thing well and you move on. Next, doing the thing properly can add so much time to what you are doing. For example, you feel like the things must be done in a certain order. No shortcuts can be taken, for example. This can make things take a lot longer. You want to be as efficient as possible. At the same time, you want to do the thing properly. And so, what is that balance for you? Next, hyperfocus. We can reach a state of hyperfocus when we are on that 99.9% level for about 1,000 years. We get stuck in that mode and then we're not able to finish that thing, and also other things aren't able to take place that day that we maybe wanted them to because we ran out of that limited resource of time. All the tasks that we take on because of our inability or our strong non-desire of delegating adds significant amount of time to our plates. When you're in the middle of a task and you remember to do something that you haven't, or you notice something that you think needs to be done and you hop over and you do that thing, that's going to cost you a lot of time because you aren't just going to make that jump once, you're going to make that jump, you're going to keep making that jump. For example, if there is a weirdly formatted heading on a web page that I am editing, I don't just go in and change the heading. I'm like, okay, why did that happen? Okay, let me go back to like the header settings, the style sheet. Why don't I go back? Clearly people are understanding the branding header. So why don't I create a guidelines document as well as a training so I can show people how to actually do that? You just made your task of changing your heading so it wasn't bold a massive undertaking. And imagine doing that with every task on your to-do list. Next, procrastination is huge when it comes to perfectionism, and of course, procrastination is going to cost you way more time than if you just did that thing that you think about doing every day, but you then decide not to do. Finally, not properly estimating the time it will take to do something is representative of what it's like to be a perfectionist. Basically, you don't add in any tinker time, and so you think everything is going to take less time than it actually does for you. If you look up not being able to estimate task time in the dictionary, you will see a photo of me. Now let's get into the fun part, the tools. So the first tool I have is called Imagination Nation, half-assing it. Now this is going to be a really, really interesting assignment for you as a perfectionist, because I know there are probably things in your life that you half-ass. You don't go perfectionist on everything, we can't. But I want you to go half-ass on things you usually go full-ass on. Imagine what that would be like and what would happen if you did the half-ass version of everything on your list right now. How would you feel? You would probably feel, first of all, amazing. You didn't procrastinate any of it and you didn't spend too much extra time on any of those things. What would half-assing this project look like? What would half-assing cleaning the kitchen look like? What would half-assing XYZ look like? This tool really reminds me of the question of like, what would you do today? What would you do this week if you weren't anxious about it or if nothing could go wrong? What would it look like if you could just do that thing that didn't need to be perfect? How would you feel after? The next tool I have is called going for the heart of the thing. And so as far as I'm concerned, that is the only way we can ever pronounce the word heart. And so just for reference.
I'll burn the heart out of you.
Okay, that is Andrew Scott in Sherlock, and that is absolutely the only way that heart can ever be said. So when it comes to this tool, this is basically a tool that I've talked about somewhere else in some other video, probably related to depression, because it is called stripping it down to the bare essentials. So what is the task? The task is cleaning the kitchen. The task cannot be cleaning the kitchen. If you say clean the kitchen, I have no idea what you're talking about. What is a clean? What is a kitchen? That kind of thing. Because to me, cleaning the kitchen means two things. It means one, making sure the counters don't have crumbs. So basically wiping down the counters. And the other one is not having extraneous items on the kitchen island. Now, there can be some extraneous items on the kitchen island, but there cannot be extraneous items on the kitchen island. That could easily be put away. That is what cleaning the kitchen, two parts, it is for me. Cleaning the kitchen is not reorganizing the cupboard. It's not writing the grocery list. It's not starting the laundry. It's not reorganizing the sock drawer. It is just those two things. Those are the only two things I'm allowed to do in that kitchen. This leads us to our next tool. This tool is called the later list. The later list is employed when you're in the middle of doing something, and of course you notice something or think about something else that needs to be done, and you really want to task switch and go do that other thing because it sounds so enticing. I don't know why it sounds so enticing, but it is. It makes it seem like you'll be able to get double done if you keep jumping around, but you never finish the first thing in the first place. It's not logical. I didn't say it was logical. I trust that you are going to take the later list seriously. And what I mean by that is you're not going to say, oh no, this is definitely a thing that needs to be done now when it doesn't. Okay, here's an example of something, one of the rare things that would transcend the later list. Forgetting to pick up your child at school. That should transcend the later list. You should go do that. But you don't need to rebrand because someone didn't bold the heading on the webpage. Finally, the last tool is called there, and I cannot stress this enough, are no rules. There are no rules. If you think about doing something every single day and that thing does not cause harm, but you still have not done that thing, but you want to, just do it. Because there are no rules. Nobody cares. You don't have to meet some requirement to do whatever that thing is. And the world is basically crumbling before us. You can just do the thing now. You don't need to keep yourself from doing it anymore because there is no time like the present. Of course, there's the later list, but also there is no time like the present. I hope you enjoyed exploring time in the context of perfectionism and obsessive compulsive personality disorder. Also, as we were talking about perfectionism, and if you enjoy my perfectionism content, you always tune in for it, I have a book recommendation for you, which is really exciting because it is by a local to me author. I'm based in Wisconsin. I found this at a local bookstore, and obviously I was intrigued just by, first of all, the artwork, but second of all, this word, unperfect, by Megan Rose Thornburg, illustrated by Juliana Barabash. Basically, the main character makes a new friend, which is a neighbor who moves onto her street. The main character is a perfectionist and her new friend is not, and so she learns a lot from her new friends and she finds a lot of joy in ways that were not her previous ways. This is absolutely a book that you need to purchase if you are a perfectionist. It is the sweetest book ever. I love this book so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.